got for our interview today is kind of an interesting thing where we have Neil Cody from Charterhouse Design, and I went to his studio and did a video on site where Neil talks about some of his design process and some of what he does in his lab at Charterhouse Design. Now, Charterhouse Design is a really interesting local business here. They actually originated way back in 1921, and it's a family paint and decorative arts company, and they focus on wood care, paint, epoxies, plaster, all kinds of things. If you need that special look or feel or color or coating, they're the place I would recommend you go. They are helping us with our new Shipyards location, so it's been a pleasure working with Neil. So we're now going to take a look at the interview, Neil Cody, Charterhouse Design, in their lab and studio. So hope you enjoy the segment. Right after that, we'll have a very short entrepreneur highlight about a guy named Mac Flavel of Eastside Games and a whole bunch of other local companies that he was involved with. So enjoy the segment, and we'll see you shortly. Neil Cody here from Charterhouse Designs.
Yes,
and
hello.
He's going to talk just a little bit about this really cool whiteboard surface that he's doing, and then a few other things, how it all works.
Sure, that's great. Thanks very much. So what we have today is we've got a product called Smark, and what's interesting about the Smark product, it's a two-component clear coat that goes on top of any painted surface, and it will allow you to do your notes and thoughts. And once you've finished with that and you want to move on, you can just take it off. So generally speaking, most of these whiteboards are sometimes problematic. This one's nice because you can write on it all day long, and you can add this, and you can add colors to it. These are all pens that are used for whiteboard. And what's nice about it is it doesn't wipe off right away. So if you put it on there, you really want to leave it on for the day. You don't want it to come off right away in case you've smudged into it. It doesn't come off. But what we do is we just clean it off. This is called Clean All I'm putting on here, and it's a non-alcohol based cleaner that is easy to use, and it's a degreaser basically. So it just allows for this product to release from the whiteboard, and now you've got a clean surface and you have no ghosting on there. And that's the important thing about this. It doesn't ghost this particular Smart because it's really holds out anything absorbing into it. So as a product that you can use on all areas you want to lay your thoughts onto, this just goes on drywall. Whatever color you have on there, you're going to keep. So generally use white, but you can use other colors as well.
Oh,
so
cool.
And it's also non-carcinogenic as a product to put on. Most of them are really smelly. This one does not have any smell. So it rolls on, and what's really important about this when you're putting it on, it allows you to put it on and to continue to roll it so you get it nice and smooth. Most of the other ones, what happens is it tends to stipple, and when you get stippling and you write on there, it looks really bumpy and it doesn't really appear proper. So that's really the purpose behind it. So this is our new Smark dry erase paint or clear coat, and it's made by one of the larger manufacturers in the U.S. that makes clear coats.
Oh, wow.
Epoxy. So
Well, that's really great. And so this is the material that's going to go in the Shipyard space.
yes, that's right.
So we can have some creative brainstorming, lots of different places within the walls.
Yeah.
And Neil's been working on lots of things there, the flooring and baseboards, and now this. And yeah, it's really cool to see your lab. Can I just take a quick kind of thing, just a little bit? So this makes our Maker Lab look kind of smaller now because he's got all these cool machines, and he's got the computers and the paint machines and mixing things. So
these are all using water-based pigments, and we have a spectrophotometer that can analyze the color and decode the color so that when you're actually tinting, you're able to tint it with more than 2-3 pigments.
Oh, nice.
We usually use up to 7 to 8 pigments in order to make a color.
Yeah.
And generally, we don't use black because black kills the chromatic value of any color.
Yes.
So now you get the brightness and you don't have it looking dead. When you use black into most colors, it kind of loses its life.
Yes.
That's the way it tends to work.
Oh, I see.
So we've got one machine for doing transparent pigments, and these transparent pigments are used for wood stain. And then we have the other one here. This is for white paint and opaque pigments. So your paints are tinted with this.
Oh, nice.
And we can usually customize anything we want. Over here we have all of our wood samples, and we do wood samples for companies in the U.S. and Canada. And so we make wood look like aged wood. This is called driftwood. So
Nice.
it's just a plain wood, but we use a stain on here that's a water-based stain by Seal Once.
So you got all kinds of, so this is where you combine the design, the art with sort of the science and everything
Yes,
put together.
yes. And everybody has a hard time with color. Color's challenging on to the best of times. But we're using materials that are not your typical materials. Nowadays, people are using concrete board. So this is made out of concrete, and the customer wants it to look more authentic. But we found a way of making it even more authentic than this. This looks a bit washed out. Well, we're doing this with environmentally friendly wafer board.
Oh, nice.
So this is wafer board. It looks like your wood, and we're doing it by layering color on top of color.
Oh, nice.
So you get a nice variety of that. And then we do custom color on cedar. This is to match. This is particle board that's made from plastic, but customers want to match the two together. So we work hard at getting those two colors together.
Wow.
We do some work for a company in Seattle, and they have, it's called Green Trailers. So that's their corporate color. And the challenge with this is to try to make it so we can make those colors actually work.
Oh, wow.
And that's the amount of work we put into it to be able to create this color.
Wow.
It's not easy, especially the wood actually defines how the color is going to develop.
Yeah.
Some wood absorbs differently than others,
Huh.
but that's the work we were doing on it.
Oh, wow.
So
It's a real laboratory here.
it's a real color field.
Huh.
And then we work with other products. We work with metallics on wood. We've done a whole house with this particular finish.
Yeah.
So the wood that we choose depends. We're working with woods that are beautiful woods, but the thing about it, this is called a torrefied wood.
Nice.
And what they do now with wood is they torrefy it by actually superheating it, and then it roasts it. So now it becomes like an almond color, but this originally was an ash, a light color.
Oh, wow.
So when they roast it up, all of the oils and the tannins in there warm up, and you end up getting this color, which looks lovely, but in sunshine it turns gray very quickly.
I see.
So what we've done now is we've come up with a color key in order to save this long term. So we came up with this color that will preserve it, and it'll stay that color permanently.
Oh, nice.
So there's always challenges with anything we do, but we always try to find out what the customer are looking for. If they're looking for longevity, or they're looking for color, or they're looking for just straight protection.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways.
Well, thanks so much, Neil, for showing us your cool workshop. And this is just part of it. I see there's a giant warehouse here, but this is part of the lab part. So
It is.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
So we're back here with Neil Cody. This time we're in another sort of lab type area with all the different colors and matching. And what does this area do here?
So this is the studio where we do a lot of the creative work with different mediums, whether it be plaster, paint, concrete. Each one of them are done for designers. The designers are looking for a concept, and generally what they'll do is they'll bring in their ideas, and Margaret, the creative director, she will actually take some of these concepts and either put it into a live form or interpret it according to the information they have with the client. Like for instance, Emily, starting with this image here, that's an image, and then what we'll do with it is we'll take it and transform it onto the wall.
Oh wow.
So that's just to give you an idea of how it can be done.
So that whole wall is kind of matching the original
picture. This is the concept. So they want to see a larger sample of it. That's one of the things we've done.
Yeah, nice.
So the other things we've done are, let me just set this here. This is a new project we're working on. This is a house, and the house, the builder came to us because we're actually, it's a color for wood, and they told us about what they're looking to do. They said, well, we have the color of the floor, and we have, this is what we're going to be putting onto the ceiling of the floor, and then the ceiling is going to be a certain color. So we match those colors, and they're putting it on the beams on top, but they have this plastic material that they actually wanted to put on the ceiling all along here, all on the beams. So what we've done is we've actually made it look like aged wood.
Oh yeah.
And we've come up with different colors. So one would look at more washed look, and the other one would be look more like a wood.
Oh, that's really cool.
Faux look. So then this is just fitted onto the ceiling, and the designer's just working on understanding how that would work for them.
Looks pretty convincing to me.
Yeah, and it's just a polyurethane.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
That's one of the things that we try to interpret on that side of it.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the other things we're doing here is we've got, for instance, plasters. So Venetian plasters are very popular. This is what we talked about perhaps for your facility, where we have the columns, and the columns had to be color coded according to your corporate colors. And this would go on top of any surface. This is on plastic right now, but generally it goes on drywall. But now you got a color that's it's got a little depth to it. So we were doing this for a client where they wanted a red, or they were looking for a red that was similar to that. So we ended up doing 2 samples. Margaret did the 2 samples, and the client decided on this one, and it looked quite beautiful.
Oh,
so
wow.
these are some of the things we've done, and then we've done things with concrete. The concrete finishes now are this sort of finish here.
Nice.
And then we're working on some historical work in the city. We're working with builders that are renovating the Wesley St. Andrew's Church down on Burrard Nelson.
Oh wow.
So we provided all the interior concrete material, did all the training for the tradespeople, and showed them how to recreate limestone. So this is the concrete corner here. So a lot of these finishes here are all concrete. And what we ended up doing was, in this particular case, we ended up having to come up with colors that replicated the original concrete finishes that were in the church. And the original concrete finishes came as a result, well, they had to take it all apart because there was no reinforcing bars on the stonework. So this is from the original church, and this is the limestone that was in there. Nice. And so we had to match it according to the areas that weren't cleaned for 100 years, because when they cleaned it, it darkens it. Yes. So we had to come up with a way of getting with the right color. So we figured out the right color, and we ended up doing the entire church with our products, and we ended up coming to a whole color key. Let's see where I got it. I got it around here somewhere. Oh yeah. These are again, as you saw before, all the colors you have to get to. Wow. And this is where they actually ended up with here.
This is really behind the scenes stuff that you just, when you're seeing a space, you don't realize all the work that's gone behind it to get the right look and the right feel and the colors.
Well, the historical architects and the conservatory for historical buildings in Vancouver, they were very specific on the colors they wanted and the techniques. So we ended up working with our supplier in Italy, with historical lime plasters, and this is how we ended up helping them get to that. And the whole church is almost finished.
Yeah.
But it's taken 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I like to think that we kind of are the ones that put lipstick on the walls.
Yeah. Well, that's
And that's the final look there.
huh. That's nice. So all the different analysis
Very
and
subtle,
what went
yeah.
behind
very
that.
subtle. Yeah. And you know, anyways, it's there's and again, this is part of the process. This is actually the lime they put on there, and you can see how it varies. But the top one we've cut out is the final finish.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, thanks very much for showing us
welcome.
behind the scenes and all the processes, and we're telling people in the show why it's important, design and color and all that. It's
Material,
materials,
color,
engineering,
and technique.
and technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Neil.
You're welcome.